ladies, if you could just give some opening comments on Saturday's matchup and just your thoughts and emotions on the quarterfinal rounds.
I'll go ahead and start. Excited for the weekend for the knockout phase. I think we've all been waiting for it. I think the league is always very competitive, and now, it doesn't really matter who you play. It is a knockout game. Anyone can win at this point. So we're just getting geared up and ready to go.
Yeah, what Tori said, the mood around the team, we're ready. We're excited. And if we ever needed more motivation to want to win this whole thing, I think it's we're playing for more than just us, but we're playing for our captain, Andy Sullivan, right now.
Thanks so much. We'll take the first question from Grant Weidenfeld.
Grant Wiedenfeld, keeper notes. Some of the players on other teams have talked about dealing with the mental challenge of being in this bubble tournament, isolated from everyone for a couple of weeks. What have you and your team done to kind of deal with this special situation?
For me personally, I have tried to look for all the positives. We're able to be outside playing soccer with our team. We get to wave to some of the other players on other teams too. So that's enjoyable as well. In and around the hotel, we're playing games. Jordan's playing games all the time. I'll let her talk about that.
Winning games.
Yeah. We're just trying to stay busy and, like I said, focus on the positives, trying to be grateful for the opportunity that we have to play, because we know other people are really struggling just at home and kind of being alone and isolated, but luckily we're able to be together as a team.
Yeah, what Tori said, our team, I think with our leadership, Tori being one of our captains, they set the tone for us and kind of controlling what you can control. We feel so lucky to even be able to compete right now and be together. So enjoying that time together, kind of off the field, finding ways to stay busy or do what you need to do. We play a lot of games. I win a lot of games. Just you try. Richie wins a lot of bananagrams, but kind of having that escape when we're off the field, finding ways to stay busy and kind of get our minds off of soccer and enjoy the time together.
Jordan, what's your go-to game?
Depends on the day, but right now it's bananagrams.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Grant. Next, we'll go to Graham Hayes.
Hi, thanks. If I could actually just kind of follow up on that line of questioning, I'm just curious. We've heard a lot about kind of the rules and guidelines that are in place to make the bubble work and make it safe. I'm just wondering, have those been kind of unchanging and you've gotten used to them, or have they evolved to kind of fit the needs as you've all figured out what is needed out there?
As far as I'm aware, nothing has changed. Our medical protocol has stayed the same from the beginning, but the league is in constant contact with our medical task force, and the Players Association is in constant contact with the league as well. We are keeping this as strict as possible because we realize with any little mistake, this thing could shut down. So we, as our team, and I know the other teams are being very safe, and nothing has changed since being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, next we have Jason Anderson.
Hi, thanks to both of you for taking the time. I guess this question is for both of you. It's kind of different angles for each of you because, Tori, you've played in every single game. This is obviously a draining tournament. Jordan, you just were out for a game. How are you both holding up physically?
I'm not going to lie, my body is hurting. There are just different things with this tournament format that a player at my age really has to be aware of and on top of recovery. I think our club and the league has done its best to provide those certain modalities or treatments that every player needs. But high performance wise, I'm not sure that I am at the top of my game at the moment, given the pandemic and the lead up to the tournament, but we are doing our best with it. And, managing loads has become super important throughout all of this so that we don't have injuries and we can perform the best we can given the situation.
And at the end of the day, we're now in the knockouts and everyone's in the same situation. And so physically, everyone's pretty tired and beat down. So now that's where the mentality, the camaraderie of the team and the fight, it really shows now that we're in the knockouts.
As a follow-up, are there any specific thoughts that either of you have about Sky Blue going into this game?
I think they kind of have like a freshness about them, I'll say. I think they have, in the last couple of games that I've watched, they have this confidence about them that where that's coming from is not really up to me, but they look sharp. And I think it will be a pretty competitive game on Saturday, and it always is against them. I think they're kind of one of our rivals, but they look to be a pretty uniform group, and I think we're going to have to put our best foot forward on Saturday in order to beat them.
They've been a fun team to watch this tournament, and I think it will be a fun test for us. Both teams, both us and Sky Blue, are playing with confidence, so I'm excited to get after it.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Next, we'll go to Steve Goff.
First for Jordan, how does the team adapt or change without Andy on the field? And then I'll ask Tori after your answer.
Yeah, Andy is one of the best leaders I've ever been fortunate and lucky enough to play with. And so not having her here, it's going to be different. It's going to be a test for us. And I think the way we approach it is we use her and what she means to us and to this club as motivation, and to perform for her to win this tournament. And that's kind of the angle our team's using as we head into this game.
Okay, great, thanks. And for Tori, this is a young team, a lot of young players in key positions. What have you seen in terms of maturity and growth over earlier this year, and then obviously in this tournament, that makes you believe you're ready for these big moments, such as a knockout round?
I think what has been good about our team even last year as well is the players that we have added to the group have a confidence about them that I think is very mature. And it's almost like they aren't worried to make mistakes. They want to play, and they know mistakes are going to happen. And it's more so what is going to be our response to those mistakes. And I think all of them are very, their mindset is very growth oriented. They're willing to learn and be coached, especially by veteran players. If it's Aubrey or Sunny, even though Andy, even if she is still young, she's very mature, but if we are giving them feedback, they are very open to it. And that is the same with the technical staff giving them feedback. I think throughout this craziness of this year, it's very easy to be negative and complain. And I think that is one thing that we have completely kept out of our group. And I would definitely attribute that to being mature.
Great. Thanks a lot to both of you.
Thanks.
And we'll take one more from Melina. Melina, you should be able to. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. Wrong button. Yeah, my question for both of you is, what do you expect from Sky Blue, given the tournament they had, and also how both of you expect your team to perform in the next match? I know you are going to to that match to win and everything. But having some players that are not right now on the team due to injury, what's like kind of your plan?
Without giving our game plan away too much.
Yes, sorry.
I would expect Sky Blue to come out flying. I think both of our teams now have had several days of rest. So if they high press, I wouldn't be surprised by that, especially given that we're a possession-oriented team and people want to, or other teams want to kind of take that away from us. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. I also think they are more possession oriented this year. So if they want to knock it around and work it through their midfield, I could see them doing that as well. Our game plan right now is to continue our identity, continue what we're good at, regardless of who is slotted in the starting 11 or who comes off the bench. We know our expectations and our roles on the field pretty well. And I think that's going to be unchanging for us.
Yeah, I think Tori hit the nail on the head. But I think more to that is that there's a lot of trust in our team. There's a lot of depth in our team, and that we have the confidence and trust in each other that whatever 11 are on the field at any moment, we can continue to play our game and be successful and find ways to win games.